Okay, Sony's got a brand new phone and it's changed. It's a new phone with a new design, a new camera, and everything is upgraded. Talking about the design specifically first, it's a lot sleeker, it looks a lot more premium, you're getting a lot more for your money, you'll feel. Given we've got a market of really dull looking phones at the moment, Sony needed to step up, and it's done that here. It's got a frosted back, it's got a nicely engraved Xperia logo on the bottom. This is definitely a step up in terms of design from previous phones. Yeah, it looks very similar to Xperia Zs of old, but this is definitely a new phone, and the Xperia Z5 is a new chapter for Sony. It's Bond's phone, for crying out loud, and that makes sense. This is a phone he would actually want to hold, we think. The edges of the phone have also been rounded a little bit, so it means that it's nicer to hold in the hand rather than feeling quite angular and blocky. It's a new design and it works really nicely. Sony's included a fingerprint sensor for the very first time on the Xperia Z range. The Z5 has it on the power button on the side, which means that it rests nicely under the finger. It's where you'd expect it to be rather than being somewhere on the front or on the back of the phone with a stupid swipe. This is a much better placement and it works really quickly. The volume rocker is below the power button, which is probably not the most intuitive place for it, it should be above, but we have got a camera button, which is really great because you can take much more stable snaps, and it's exactly the sort of thing you should be seeing on a premium smartphone. But apart from the volume rocker being in the wrong place, everything looks and feels really great on the Xperia Z5. It feels great in the palm of the hand, and Sony really should be proud of making something that feels like a real step up from previous phones. Sony's not done too much to improve the display on the Xperia Z5. It's still the same Full HD as before, but it looks a bit more colourful. The technology's been improved a little bit to make it more easily viewable from different angles, and it looks like a top-end smartphone. Yeah, it's not QHD, it's not in the same league as the Galaxy S6 for instance, but it is really clear and it shows the web pages, pictures, videos, whatever you want really nicely, and that's all we're really looking for here. If you want something that's a bit crazy, Sony's gone 4K with the Xperia Z5 Premium, which is a lot more expensive and a little bit bigger, but it's there if you want it. Going back to the Xperia Z5 fingerprint sensor, it's actually really quick. The great thing is it's in the power button, which is on the side of the phone, and your thumb rests on it naturally, and it means unlocking your phone is a simple case of just picking it up. Other phones have them on the front, on the back. Now this is the right place to have it, and we really like what Sony's done here. Sony's also got one big USP with Xperia Z5, and that's it's the only phone manufacturer on the market to have a waterproof phone, which means you can chuck it in water, you can roll it in dust, you can take it in the shower if you really want to, and it will still keep going. The cool thing is that all the ports are uncovered. Apart from the micro SD slot and nano SIM at the top, everything else is uncovered, so you can plug your charger in, your headphones, and it will still be protected from water. It's really clever and it's really nice to see. The Xperia Z5 has competition from the likes of the Galaxy S6 and the iPhone 6s, so it really needed to have a really good camera. And the good news is it does. The 23 megapixel sensor works really well, and it's got a super fast autofocus, so you can whiz the phone around your head, move the phone in all different directions, and it will still take a really quick and clear picture. In fact, it's so quick we can't quite believe it. It should be taking blurry pictures, but even if you've got super shaky hands, you'll get a really clear snap every single time. You can also do 4K video, 1080p Full HD at a really smooth rate, and there's loads of different options you can play with, and Sony's done a lot of good things with making this a decent camera for both filming and for taking pictures. In terms of performance, the Z5 works really well. It's a big step up from the Z3 Plus, which had problems with overheating, laggy, apps crashing. This is a smartphone that you'd expect to work in just the way it does. It's fast, it's quick, it's vibrant. It's what you want from a smartphone, and it's got 3 gigs of RAM, which is actually really important because it means everything is pin sharp and really quick. It's nice to see. It actually handles content really well as well. That means that gaming, videos, everything you really want to do with this phone just looks really good and handles really quickly. It's a top-end phone, it feels like it. Now you're probably worried that the battery in your smartphone isn't going to last as long, so if that's the case, you're going to be looking at Sony because it touts having stamina mode, a really long-lasting mode that can intelligently turn down the screen, turn off the apps at the right time, and it actually does work. While you're not going to get 2 days of battery life like Sony reckons you can, it still works longer than say the Galaxy S6 or the iPhone 6s. It'll go well over a day if you're really after that, and it's a good feature to have and it's a real USP for Sony. So what do we think overall? Well, the Sony Xperia Z5 is a remarkable improvement on the Z3 Plus. The question is whether this would actually be James Bond's phone out of choice or through millions of pounds being chucked at him to use it in a film. You know what? He probably might actually use it. It's got loads of great features, the battery lasts for a long time, and it's actually a nice phone. So if you're looking for a decent smartphone that works exactly as you want it to, the Z5 is a good choice to look at.